It takes about 12 minutes. That's how long it now takes Walmart to deliver a bag of groceries to a home in Dallas, Texas. Not 2 days, not 2 hours. 12 minutes. The package never touches a single human hand. It drops from the sky, lowered by a thin tether, and lands on the front lawn. Meanwhile, in Chicago, a man named Marcus has been driving for DoorDash for 3 years. He knows every shortcut, every traffic pattern, every restaurant that runs late on Fridays. And he has no idea that the machine replacing him was already approved by the FAA. There are roughly 3.5 million delivery drivers working in the United States right now. Add gig couriers, and that number grows by millions more. Globally, the delivery workforce runs into the tens of millions. These are real people. People who showed up, learned the job, and built their lives around it. But in 2026, something has shifted in a way that can no longer be ignored. The technology that was promised as a tool to help couriers is increasingly being designed to replace them. Drones, sidewalk robots, AI routing systems that know exactly how productive you are, down to the second. Algorithms that fire workers without a single human making the decision. This is the story of what technology is actually doing to one of the world's most essential jobs. Not what companies say it will do, what it's already doing, right now. First, let's understand the scale of what we're dealing with. The global delivery drone market was worth $3.47 billion in 2025. By 2026, projections put it at over $5 billion. By 2034, just 8 years from now, analysts estimate it will reach nearly $21 billion. Those are not science fiction numbers. Those are current investment figures. In parallel, the market for autonomous delivery robots, the little wheeled boxes you have probably started seeing on university campuses, was valued at $818 million in 2026, growing at nearly 37% per year. The company Starship Technologies alone has a fleet of over 2,000 robots operating in the US and Europe. In April 2025, they announced their bots had completed 8 million autonomous deliveries. 8 million deliveries. No driver, no tip, no human interaction. In Amazon, their Prime Air drone program, the MK30, can deliver packages under 5 pounds within a 7.5-mile radius. It launched commercially in multiple new U.S. cities in 2025 and 2026. Pontiac, Waco, Hazel Park, Richardson in Texas, Kansas City, and now Baton Rouge. By the end of this decade, Amazon chief executive Andy Jassy has publicly stated a goal of 500 million drone deliveries per year. 500 million. Meanwhile, Walmart has been running drone delivery since 2021. By mid-2025, they had already completed over 150,000 drone deliveries, offering 30-minute service to customers in multiple U.S. states. Their partner Wing, a Google subsidiary, now operates from at least 6 cities in the Atlanta metro area alone. Zipline, originally built to deliver medical supplies to remote villages in Africa, has logged over 1.5 million deliveries globally and now partners with Walmart, GNC, and Panera Bread. So the question is no longer will drones replace couriers? The question is how many and how fast? But here's what makes this story much more complicated and much darker than it first appears. The drones aren't even the biggest threat to the people who deliver your packages. The algorithm is. Marcus doesn't just drive for a platform, he works inside one. Every second of his shift is tracked. His speed, his idle time, his acceptance rate, how long it takes him to get from the restaurant to the door. There is a score. There is always a score. For Amazon's delivery partners, the surveillance goes even further. Amazon drivers are monitored by a system called Netredyne Drivery, which uses AI-powered cameras installed inside their vans. These cameras track eye movement, hand position, following distance, and even whether a driver yawns. If the system detects something it doesn't like, the driver gets an automated alert. Too many alerts, and the driver's contract is terminated, not by a manager, by a machine. Inside Amazon's warehouses, it's the same story. Workers operate under what researchers from Northwestern University, in a 2025 study published in the journal Socius, described as algorithmic despotism. Real-time productivity scanners track every item handled. Workers receive automated write-ups or termination notices for failing to meet algorithmic quotas. According to documented reports, roughly 1 in 10 Amazon firings is triggered by a computer program based on a low productivity score. Workers have reported skipping bathroom breaks out of fear that their time-off task score will cross a threshold and generate an automated termination order. Not a human decision, an algorithm. In January 2026, Amazon rolled out a new internal dashboard tracking individual employees' badge swipes, office hours, and building usage across rolling 8-week periods. The U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has already issued warnings that AI-driven employee surveillance tools may violate federal law. Now, zoom out. A 2025 Human Rights Watch report titled The Gig Trap, covering 7 major companies including Amazon Flex, DoorDash, Instacart, Lyft, and Uber, found that 6 of the 7 use algorithms with opaque rules to assign jobs and determine wages. Workers do not know how much they will be paid until after completing the job. DoorDash earned $10.72 billion in revenue in 2024, a 24% year-over-year increase. Their market capitalization reached $81 billion in 2025. The company's couriers, they are earning 50 to 65% less per hour than they made in traditional jobs before joining the platform. Here's how the gig delivery story was supposed to go. Flexibility, freedom. You work when you want, you make what you want. No boss, no schedule, just you, your vehicle, and the open road. And for a while, it worked. Sort of. In 2025, gig delivery jobs in the U.S. grew 15% year over year. Food delivery platforms like DoorDash and Uber Eats saw active driver numbers rise by 18%. Grocery services like Instacart expanded their shopper bases by 22%. In markets like Los Angeles and Chicago, some platforms were offering guaranteed earnings of $200 to $250 per day for full availability. Approximately 36% of the U.S. workforce is now involved in the gig economy in some form. In the UK and Germany, that figure is around 30%, projected to exceed $600 billion globally by 2030. But the cracks are already showing. By late 2025, average tips on DoorDash and Uber Eats had fallen sharply over a 2-year period. A 2025 Goldman Sachs analysis found that gig workers earn only 50% to 65% as much per hour as they did in previous traditional jobs. Not because gig work pays less on paper, but because there are simply too many drivers chasing too few orders. By November 2025, more than 1.1 million U.S. layoffs had been announced for the year. And where were those workers going? To DoorDash, to Uber Eats, to Instacart, into an already oversaturated labor pool, driving down pay for everyone already there. Meanwhile, platforms restructure their pay models in ways workers can't predict or plan around. 6 of 7 major platforms use algorithms with opaque rules to calculate wages. The companies have refused to share those rules, even when directly asked. Uber reported its strongest quarter ever in late 2024, posting a net income of $9.8 billion for the year. Their market cap in April 2025 stood at $169 billion. The people delivering your food, earning less than they did 2 years ago. If you want to see where Western delivery is heading, look east. In China, more than 500 million parcels are processed daily. Every single second, nearly 6,000 items enter the delivery system. And behind that number is a level of technological integration that makes Amazon look conservative. The moment a user places an order in China, an AI system at companies like ZTO Express or JD Logistics activates a complete automated response. Which courier gets the pickup, which facility it routes through, which vehicle carries it, and the predicted arrival time at every checkpoint along the route. The human courier has been reduced to the final step in a machine-planned sequence. JD Logistics now operates fully autonomous delivery robots across multiple Chinese cities. Meituan, China's dominant food delivery giant, has been running drone deliveries in cities like Shenzhen since 2021. By 2025, their fleet had expanded dramatically, with regulatory frameworks in several Chinese provinces actively designed to accelerate drone deployment. And here's the thing that keeps delivery industry analysts up at night. In China, this transformation happened fast, extremely fast. Not over decades, over years. The technology did not gradually phase in, it arrived. And the labor market absorbed the shock, or was forced to, without the social safety net that Western workers expect. Western companies are watching, not with concern, with envy. Here's what the numbers taken together are telling us. The autonomous delivery robot market is growing at 37% per year. The drone delivery market is growing at nearly 40% per year. Meanwhile, gig courier pay is falling. Surveillance of workers is intensifying. Platforms are cutting costs, not raising wages. And the companies posting record profits are investing those profits not in their workforce, but in the technology designed to make that workforce unnecessary. This isn't a future problem. This is a 2026 problem. Amazon's CEO has publicly committed to 500 million drone deliveries per year by the end of this decade. That's not experimental language. That's a corporate target with investment behind it. The delivery drone market is projected to hold over 275,000 active units by 2030, compared to roughly 32,000 in 2024. And a 2026 analysis from industry observers described the shift bluntly. Gig driving could become an extinct concept within the next 10 years if current trajectories continue. 10 years. Marcus has been driving for 3 years. He's good at it. He knows the streets better than any algorithm. But the Amazon MK30 drone doesn't need to know the streets. It flies over them. And the company doesn't pay it. It doesn't insure it. It doesn't give it time off. It doesn't worry about its score. The drone just flies. Again, and again, and again. The story of technology and labor has always followed the same arc. A new machine arrives. It is presented as a tool to help workers. Then slowly, it becomes the worker. And the people who built their lives around the old job are left to find something else. It happened to factory workers, to bank tellers, to travel agents. And now it's happening to the people who bring you your lunch. Because somewhere in Dallas, a drone just landed on someone's front lawn. And somewhere in Chicago, Marcus is still driving. For now. If you want to keep pulling on this thread, we have covered what AI is doing to other industries too. I think you will find the pattern looks familiar.